Today, we're talking about iodine. It's a chemical element with the atomic number 53 and the symbol I. Usually, iodine is found as a purple-black solid, but when it turns into a gas, it becomes this purple vapor. It's pretty cool how it changes. Now, there are 37 known isotopes of iodine, and most of them are radioactive, but the stable one we care about is iodine 127. That's the version we find in food and supplements. Even though iodine is pretty rare, it's considered a trace element, but it's also an essential nutrient. That means our bodies actually need iodine to function properly, but we don't make it ourselves, so we have to get it from the food we eat or through supplements. Why do we need iodine? Well, it's crucial for making thyroid hormones, which have a huge impact on brain development, metabolism, and other essential processes in our bodies. Now, you might be wondering, what's the difference between iodine and iodide? Well, when iodine is in its single ion form, it's called iodide. Iodide is a negatively charged ion, and it loves bonding with positively charged ions like potassium, K+. When iodine binds with potassium, you get potassium iodide, Ki, which is actually what's used in iodized salt. Pretty neat, right? So, the main job of iodine in your body is helping to create thyroid hormones. These hormones are super important for things like brain development and metabolism. Your thyroid, which is this little bow tie-shaped gland in your neck, absorbs iodine from your blood and uses it to produce two important hormones, T3 and T4. T3 has 3 iodine molecules, and T4 has 4. These hormones are crucial because every single cell in your body relies on them to produce energy. T4 is made from an amino acid called tyrosine, and it helps control how much T3 gets produced. And T3? Well, that's the one that has a bigger impact on your metabolism. Iodine is packed with health benefits. We mainly know it for its role in thyroid hormone production, but it actually plays a role in so much more. For example, your thyroid stores most of the iodine your body needs. The pituitary gland, which is in your brain, releases something called thyroid-stimulating hormone, TSH, which tells the thyroid how much T3 and T4 to produce. Stress can actually mess with TSH production, which can then affect your metabolism. The hypothalamus, another gland in your brain, releases a hormone called thyrotrophin-releasing hormone, TRH, which also helps control thyroid hormone production. So yeah, getting enough iodine is super important to keep your thyroid in check. One of the most important roles iodine plays is in brain development, especially during childhood. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, iodine deficiency is the leading cause of preventable mental and intellectual disabilities around the world. Pregnant women need even more iodine because it's crucial for their baby's brain development. And believe it or not, even in developed countries like the US, many pregnant women don't get enough iodine, and it can affect their baby's IQ. The most critical time for brain development is during pregnancy, infancy, and childhood, but iodine is important for brain function your whole life long. It's also a big deal for mental wellness. Iodine helps with mood regulation and overall brain function. Some studies suggest that low iodine levels during pregnancy or childhood might even be linked to conditions like ADHD or autism, though we definitely need more research to fully understand it. But what we do know is that iodine is essential for keeping your brain in top shape, so it's a good idea to make sure you're getting enough. Another thing iodine is awesome for is boosting metabolism and energy. Your thyroid controls your metabolism, so if you've got hypothyroidism, low thyroid function, you might experience things like weight gain, low energy, and brain fog. Low iodine levels, along with genetics or other conditions, can lead to hypothyroidism. On the flip side, if you have hyperthyroidism, an overactive thyroid, you might struggle to gain weight because your thyroid is producing too much T3 and T4, which uses up all the iodine. It might sound a little counterintuitive, but in some cases, supplementing with iodine might help, but always check with your healthcare provider first. Iodine also has a pretty incredible ability to stimulate your immune system. It's really good at cleaning up harmful organisms, which is why it's used in medical settings to clean wounds and prep people for surgery. But it's not just for external use. It also helps your body fight off harmful cells through a process called apoptosis. Plus, iodine acts as an antioxidant, scavenging free radicals that can cause damage to your body. If you're dealing with dry skin, brittle nails, or thinning hair, iodine might help with that too. Deficiency in iodine has been linked to issues like hair loss and dry skin. In fact, people born with a condition called cretinism often have thinner hair and thicker, drier skin. Even people with lower iodine levels might notice dry skin or acne, especially teenagers, after consuming iodine-rich foods. Iodine also helps detox your body from other halogens like chlorine, fluorine, and bromine. These elements can mess with your body's functions, but iodine helps by binding to them and flushing them out. For example, chlorine in pool water can irritate your lungs and skin. Fluoride, a form of fluorine, in public water can interfere with enzymes, and bromine, found in flame retardants, has been linked to brain issues and thyroid problems. Iodine helps get rid of all that by saturating your thyroid, so those other elements can't interfere with your body. And did you know iodine protects your thyroid from radiation? In situations like nuclear emergencies, radioactive iodine can be released into the atmosphere, and if it's absorbed by your thyroid, it can be harmful. To prevent this, medical professionals give people non-radioactive iodine in the form of potassium iodide, Ki. This saturates your thyroid with iodine, so the radioactive iodine can't get in. It's repeated daily until the threat passes. You'll actually find iodine in most first aid kits because it's great for cleaning wounds. It's usually in the form of povidone iodine solution, which is used topically. Some first aid kits even include iodine tablets for treating water in emergency situations. They work faster than boiling water. Iodine is also super important for women's health. During pregnancy, it supports the development of the baby's brain, bones, and organs. It also plays a role in reproductive and breast health. Moderate iodine deficiencies in women can make it harder to get pregnant, and severe deficiencies can lead to miscarriage. Even mild iodine deficiencies in pregnant women have been linked to complications like preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, and preterm birth. Low iodine levels can also lead to oxidative stress, which can cause even more health problems. Speaking of health issues, iodine deficiency can also be a risk factor for developing polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, which affects hormone balance and leads to cysts on the ovaries. And just like your thyroid, your breast tissue absorbs iodine. So there's a link between iodine deficiency and certain breast conditions. Women with hypothyroidism may also experience water retention, making their skin puffy or swollen. So, how much iodine should you be taking? The Food and Nutrition Board has set guidelines, but honestly, some experts, including myself, think these might be on the low side. It's important to get the right amount, not too little, but not too much either. Now, let's talk about whether it's safe to use. The answer is absolutely. Not only are iodine supplements safe when you follow the recommended directions, but iodine itself is actually a super important nutrient. Both the U.S. Institute of Medicine and the World Health Organization agree that up to 1,100 micrograms per day is safe for adults. To put that into perspective, a lot of medications, supplements, and treatments that use iodinated radiological solutions actually contain way higher doses. For example, a single drop of SSKI, supersaturated potassium iodide, contains an incredible 50,000 micrograms of iodine. That said, everyone reacts to iodine a little differently, and some people can handle higher doses better than others. Luckily, your thyroid has a built-in mechanism called the Wolff-Chaikoff effect that helps it adjust to high iodine levels and keep everything working smoothly. However, if you have autoimmune thyroid conditions, you might want to be extra careful since you could be more sensitive to higher iodine doses. Now, you might be wondering, can you actually be allergic to iodine? The short answer is no. Iodine molecules are just too tiny to trigger an allergic reaction. What some people experience is an allergic reaction to iodine in seafood, but research shows that the allergy is actually from proteins in the seafood itself, not the iodine. The same goes for allergic reactions to iodine-containing contrast dyes used in medical imaging or povidone iodine, a topical solution for cleaning wounds. Again, it's not the iodine itself causing the issue, but the other chemicals involved. While iodine side effects are pretty rare, they can happen. Some people might notice things like a metallic taste in the mouth, a burning sensation, nausea, headaches, or even diarrhea. In higher doses, especially if you take potassium iodide after radiation exposure, you might experience skin rashes, swelling of the salivary glands, or in severe cases, difficulty breathing. If you have dermatitis herpetiformis, which is an itchy skin rash often linked to gluten intolerance or autoimmune conditions, iodine could make that worse. Also, iodine can interact with certain medications, particularly thyroid medications. You might also see mild interactions with lithium, high blood pressure meds, diuretics, and heart meds that contain iodine. Iodine is essential for your thyroid, but just like anything, too much can be harmful. If you have specific health conditions, like thyroid or kidney problems, it's always best to check in with your healthcare provider before taking iodine supplements. Overdoing it on iodine can actually cause symptoms similar to iodine deficiency, like goiter and hypothyroidism. If you take too much, you could end up with iodine toxicity, which can lead to symptoms like abdominal pain, fever, vomiting, delirium, and even shortness of breath. If you've recently moved from an iodine-deficient area, like parts of Eastern Europe or Africa, your body might be more sensitive to higher iodine levels, which could trigger thyroid issues. It's always a good idea to consult with your doctor to make sure you're not overdoing it. Iodine is super important for your thyroid and for cognitive health. If your iodine levels are too low, you might start noticing things like brain fog, mood swings, low energy, weight gain, and just overall fatigue. Women might also feel breast heaviness. Severe iodine deficiency can cause the thyroid gland to enlarge, and it can even lead to developmental problems in children. For pregnant women, iodine deficiency increases the risk of miscarriage and can cause developmental delays in the baby. Some people are at a higher risk of iodine deficiency than others. Pregnant women need more iodine to support their growing baby, and children need it for proper brain and bone development. Recently, milk has become less of a reliable source of iodine because fewer dairy farmers use iodine-based solutions for sterilization. People who eat diets high in goitrogens, like cassava, millet, peanuts, and cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli and cabbage, might also be at higher risk since these foods can reduce iodine absorption. But don't worry, cruciferous vegetables still have tons of health benefits when included as part of a balanced diet. Iodized table salt has been around since 1924 to help prevent iodine deficiencies. The US and Switzerland were pioneers in this, and it made a big difference, even helping to increase IQ levels in some populations. However, over time, iodine levels in the US have started to drop, especially in the 1970s and 80s, partly because milk and dairy products no longer have as much iodine. So, what are the best sources of iodine? A balanced diet can usually provide most of the iodine you need, but sometimes you might need a supplement. Seaweed is a fantastic option, with varieties like nori, wakame, kombu, and dulse being packed with iodine. You can find them online, add them to soups or sushi, or even snack on them. Produce grown in iodine-rich soil, which is often found in coastal regions, can also be a great source, though it's not always clear where your produce comes from. Some stores sell local produce, so asking your grocer could help. Fruits and vegetables like potatoes, beans, corn, cranberries, strawberries, bananas, and prunes contain iodine, though they only provide small amounts. Some people turn to Himalayan pink salt, which has natural iodine, but its levels can vary. While table salt is usually iodized, you might want to try Himalayan salt instead since it's not treated with chemicals. If you're not getting enough iodine from your food, supplements are a good option. You can find iodine supplements over the counter, both in stores and online, and many multivitamins contain iodine as well. Just be sure to choose organic supplements that are sourced from deep earth sources and don't contain harsh chemicals or alcohol. Iodine supplements come in several forms, like tablets, liquids, and different configurations such as potassium iodide, nascent iodine, and more. Potassium iodide, Ki, is available in both tablets and liquid form, and the liquid version is known as SSKI. SSKI is sometimes used in medical treatments, like helping clear mucus, preparing for surgery, or in rare cases of radiation exposure. Povidone iodine, sold as betadine, is a topical solution often used to clean wounds or prep the skin for surgery, though it's usually not taken orally. Another common iodine supplement is Lugol's solution, which contains both elemental iodine and potassium iodide. It's been used in medical settings for decades, even to prepare patients for thyroid removal surgery. Iodine tinctures, which are iodine suspended in water and ethanol, are typically used as antiseptics, but some people use them for the iodine patch test to check for deficiency, though it's not very reliable. Lastly, nascent iodine, also called atomic iodine, is a highly bioavailable form of iodine that gets absorbed more easily by your body. It's a great option for supplementation if you're looking for something that your body can use quickly and efficiently.